I really like cups of tea, which is probably why I make lots of mugs. Yeah, I love a cup of tea. I don't even drink normal tea, I drink red bush tea, but I love a cup of red bush tea. I still do find it pretty magical. Well, pretty mind-blowing that I can throw a pot, because I never thought I'd be able to throw a pot. Well, yeah, because I love it so much. I do think the feeling that you have got when you're throwing is then imbued in your pot. Something quite functional, a mug or a beaker for coffee, and people might get that feeling of love when they're having a cup of tea or coffee. So yeah, that I hope that my work is imbued with that love, and that's what people feel when they use the work. When I started to learn to throw in 2019, yeah, I had not been in a great place. I'd had a major illness when we'd been living in the Cotswolds, and I was fine. Or I thought I was fine. I was fully recovered physically, and I felt good, to be honest. But I think it was almost like all the emotions of that time had never really been faced or dealt with. And at a certain point, yeah, I started to follow my gut, and I realised, well, to get well, you need to do things that you love. Even though you're not feeling great now, do the things that you love, and then, like, I don't know, there was just something in me that knew that was the right thing. So I'd started daily sea swimming in August, and that was really helping. And so I kind of then found the confidence to go to the pottery lessons. I guess it was quite a conscious decision. Right, I really just want to go and do this now. So at the time I was low, and I would feel anxious a lot, which I found difficult because that's kind of not me. But I guess when your body goes out of balance, anyone can experience that. At the act of throwing, you're like, especially when you're learning, you're really focusing. And so you have to be very mindful. So it would take me out of that state momentarily. This sounds odd. It just comes through my body. So I just start to play with clay and then start to feel what I want to make. Sometimes it will just happen super quickly and a shape will form super fast, 2 or 3 pulls, you're done. Other times, I don't know why, it just takes a lot longer. But I kind of don't give up on a piece of clay. I just keep working with it. What I do is I just really try to be present with it and just enjoy the feeling of what I'm doing. I don't think it's a coincidence that I grow. So I basically spend a lot of my time with my hands in the soil, the earth, growing, which is part of the landscape, or my hands like touching clay. And if not doing that, aside from the other sort of mundane life stuff that we all have to do, I will spend time in the sea or out in nature or walking on the sand. And then I realised, I guess it's obvious when you look at it, they're inspired by the Cornish landscape. So every glaze that I've got, I could tell you, oh, that's like lichen, that's like the seaweed on the rock, that's like the algae, that's the granite, that's the sand. But that's almost like it's the other way around for me. It's almost like that feeling is inside me, and it kind of, but the decision, it was all quite unconscious. It's only afterwards that I realised that's what inspired me. And I was just clambering up the rocks and thinking, actually that very point, it's not that I admire the landscape. It's like I just feel part of it now. So I do think it's in me. I just go and experience and be part of it. So I just think it's part of who I am now. I live here and I feel deeply immersed in where I'm living. So I think it's more an expression of that. It all just is an expression of the experience that I'm having as part of nature. The touch side of things and that feeling side of things is really important to me. I feel like each pot has its own character, so it's just its own unique look and feel. And I think the clay kind of, if you work with it, it kind of does that itself. So you're kind of working with the clay, it's not you just doing it on your own. I guess that's what's very mindful. So I'm using that touch sense with the clay. Yeah, and that's what feels pretty magical. I think what it does, it grounds me. It's probably the thing that gives me the greatest sense of focus in my life. I've been really focused on, don't let that mind chatter spoil the beauty of, because it feels really beautiful and I just feel really lucky to be doing it. And so I try to just stay present with that. I genuinely am so grateful that I am doing that. That's what I focus on, and the feeling of it. I think I'm on a journey of still learning what the precision can bring, but also I still enjoy the freedom of not having to be too precise. I'm not an especially precise person. And I've never loved the glazing. I've always felt not that confident with it, and it's a slightly annoying part of the process. So it's kind of strange. Suddenly, I can't even tell you what happened. I just suddenly decided, fuck it. I just thought, I'm going to start playing. And maybe it was because I was also dedicating more time to it and start to realise that I needed to play. And actually it was more fun to play and more fun to have no expectations about what was coming out of the kiln. When I first started to throw, I was a bit annoyed that I couldn't create the perfect, precise pots all the time. And then I got more competent and I could, but actually it's my early pots that I love. They've got kinks and quirks and they've got this sort of innocence about them. So I might change my mind, but I don't think I want to become a super precise potter. I just don't think that's me. It's all really quite subconscious. I don't know what's going on inside my brain most of the time. But it comes through my body. I guess that's the best way to describe it. But that's quite nice, because it means I'm not in my head trying to think what to make. And actually pottery has taught me about myself. I didn't realise I functioned like that. I kind of just do, and then afterwards realise why I've done what I've done. So the process, it's definitely taught me to embrace further uncertainty and be okay with failure. I think basically I came to Cornwall to heal from a lot of stuff that had happened. I don't know if it's because we live near the ocean, and if you think the ocean is water and water can really stimulate the emotions in us, but I feel like here in Cornwall people open, friendly, and I've got some real close friends and we have deep relationships. So in a way, maybe my pottery was always gonna be born, me doing pottery, it was always gonna happen in Cornwall, in a place where I feel connected to the land and to the people in the community. So I guess it's a reflection of all of that. Daily sea swimming and pottery, yeah, after a few months of that I was on a good path. What is my resting place? That's me.